A very good morning. Euro dollar is currently moving further in towards the downside with the overall internal trend and is looking to break new lows. So at the moment, what we can see is that the market pushed in towards the highs yesterday. So we saw a push down, a pullback in towards the highs, and then a further downside continuation with the overall internal trend, which has been bearish since this high over here. So we got that push in towards the downside, a pullback, and now a new push in towards the downside with a new internal break of structure happening over here, most likely in around 1 hour and 48 minutes. If we do indeed see a candle close below this low over here, then I will be looking to further short euro dollar in towards the downside. It is not looking good for further upside in my opinion over here on euro dollar. Obviously, we do still have this kind of like descending price action, which we had. However, what happened yesterday is that we indeed broke out in towards the highs. So we broke out of this descending wedge in towards the upside. We did, in fact, kind of see a change of character by breaking the wick of this high. However, if you dive in towards the lower time from the 15-minute, this was just more a liquidity grab and then a further downside continuation. Furthermore, once we came in towards this 4-hour order block, which caused a change of character, nothing really changed within the overall market structure and no entries at all were provided. Obviously, there was also a lot of heavy news yesterday, so nothing really going on for myself. So euro dollar for myself now is looking good for that further downside with a bullish dollar looking to continue over the coming week. So what I'll now be looking for is pretty much just entry possibilities to further short euro dollar. Over here at the moment, we are looking to break this area of demand. Once that area of demand is broken, there is nothing left over here to hold and sustain price in the highs. So then I'll be looking for further downside, for example, in towards this fresh area of 4-hour demand over here at around 107. So 1.07. Hope that is clear. So that's what I'm looking for on euro dollar, just a further push in towards the downside for now with the overall downward trend. So that's that. Going in towards the 15, I was looking for a potential shorting opportunity over here. We kind of, let's say, got a reaction from this area of supply, as we can see. However, what just simply happened was a push in towards this area of demand and then continuation in towards the upside. Then again, push down, push in towards the sell for the buy, and then again further upside continuation. So no entry possibilities or opportunities at all for myself. So that's pretty much that over there. The only long actually that I kind of found valid and I was kind of happy taking could have been a long over here. So that is this trade here. So pretty much what happened on, let's say over here, yep, for a 1, 2, 3. So what happened over here is pretty much, okay, we get the internal break of structure in towards the downside, meaning after an IBOS, what do you expect? You expect a pullback in towards the highs. Liquidity gets grabbed underneath this area of consolidation, push down, reversal in towards the upside. So you know it's likely that the market will continue up higher. Then what we also know, this is your 50-minute swing high, this is your 50-minute swing low. So there is still like opportunity for price to push up higher, as this is inside the overall discount of this overall swing range, with this being your 50% mark. Obviously, we have already pushed in towards the 50% mark, so the probability of these longs are lower, but it is like an opportunity that you could have taken into consideration if you managed it very, very aggressively. So that's that on euro dollar. Now for the rest of today, I'll just be looking to follow the overall 15-minute order flow in towards the downside. You can also check out the 1 hour. The 1 hour has also got a very nice and clean order block situated over here, which I would follow further in towards the downside. So let's see if we can just follow the market all the way back down in towards this area of 4-hour demand and create a new 4-hour lower low overall on this 4-hour swing structure and see this low over here get broken. So that's euro dollar. Moving on in towards the dollar index. So the dollar index is now at, let's say, resistance. What I'm looking for is pretty much just a close above this high over here. Once we see a close above that high, that will mean that the 4-hour trend is still continuing in towards the upside. Obviously, we can see that we're in a range, so we could just kind of spike up and then again reject in towards the downside. But we do expect the overall trend to continue in towards the upside due to the 4-hour swing structure still being bearish. We kind of have this liquidity trend line over here, which I'm looking to also pop above. A lot of stops above these highs, so I would favor a kind of a push at least back up in towards, let's say, 104.550. So that's the dollar index for you. Now moving on in towards Aussie dollar, because Aussie dollar is crashing in towards the downside at the moment. So we've finally broken out that range, and what you'll most likely see is a strong push in towards the downside after breaking out this range. Now I'm looking to see if we're going to get a candle close below this low. If we do, that means that the 4 hour has then officially flipped bearish, and if I am correct, the daily, so the daily as well. So yeah, everything bearish again on Aussie dollar. So now what I'm looking for to see is, okay, can we get that candle close below this low over here? If we do, then we can start looking for a pullback, because after a BOS, what do we expect? We expect a pullback in towards the highs. So a little bit of a push, maybe some slowdown somewhere in here, or grab kind of like the liquidity below this low and then pull back, and then pull back in towards supply, and then we'll look for that further downside continuation. So I do expect kind of like a big move due to the time that we have been consolidating within this range. So now just looking for that further downside push from price. So that's Aussie dollar. Going in towards 15, obviously we were looking for shorts yesterday. We did get a push in towards the highs. So overall, if we look at the market, this is pretty much the extreme. We liquidated this, this high over here. So these two areas of supply didn't really do anything. So we've come in towards the highs, we reject this area of supply. So from that moment, I'm looking to go short in towards the downside. So then what happened, we saw a change of character, because after reaching this area of supply and coming all the way up in towards the extreme of the swing range, which was from this high in towards this low, we're now in premium. So we're looking for a short. So then how do we recognize a short? Well, we look for that change of character upon breaking this low. So we break that low in towards the downside. Then do we have supply? Yes, we have supply. This is your area of supply. So from that moment onwards, you could have taken a short from here with your stop loss pretty much just above this overall 50-minute swing high, because that is obviously the high that is then protected, and then for a 1 to 3 in towards the downside. So a pretty nice trade which you could have taken over there. Obviously it is during news, so you need to be confident taking those kind of trades, but it is an opportunity that you could have taken. So that's Aussie dollar. For now, just looking for that further downside push, and potentially, if we do pull back, some entry opportunities. So let's move on in towards pound dollar. So pound dollar is pushing down lower pretty much as we want. I am favoring still a further push down. I mean, it's logic that pound dollar will at least push in towards this blue zone over here of around 126.340. So that's short term grabbing liquidity below the lows. But eventually I am, of course, favoring a further downside push in towards this area of demand over here for a new 4 hour BOS after breaking this low over here, and then hopefully some cleaner price action and a cleaner trend in towards the downside. Going in towards the lower time frame at the moment, I mean, what has happened on pound dollar? Well, we've pushed pretty much in towards this order block over here. So this fresh 1 hour order block, clear buy before the sell with some liquidity resting underneath that, grabbed it and then pushed back in towards the downside. So let's see if we can continue that overall downside momentum over here on pound dollar. For the rest, I mean, you can see I drew out the 50-minute trend, but there's just not that much to say about pound dollar when we're moving like this. Overall, what happened here is that we broke this 50-minute swing low. So once we saw a 50-minute swing low close below it, that means that this is then your swing high over here. So this is a swing high, and then this is over here your swing low. So from that moment, we're bearish. So then what happens, despite like this being the most crazy or awkward impulse in towards downside, it is kind of like your impulse. This is your pullback, and now this is your next impulse in towards the downside. So obviously we did pull back in towards the premium of 50 minutes over here. So we pulled back in towards there, and then obviously grabbing liquidity kind of like above these highs over here, then pushing in towards that area of supply, pretty much the same setup as on Aussie dollar. You then kind of have here your change of character, and then from that moment you can start to look for a short from this area of supply. There's not really like a clean area of supply, but like this is obviously the overall buy for the sell. So we push in towards there, and then from there we start pushing further in towards the downside. Then after that, again, a new kind of like internal trend starts to form with the push down, the pullback, the push down, the pullback. Then this is your new area of supply. So this is the buy for the sell. We tap in and then we tap back out again. So now we're just going to be following order flow in towards the downside on pound dollar, looking for further shorts. and this is now over here an area of supply, and obviously also over here your bigger area of supply, with this being your internal high. So let's see if we do get a pullback, then look for a further shorting opportunity on pound dollar. So that's pound dollar. Last of all, Kiwi dollar and gold. So NZDUSD, what are we doing over there? Yeah, again, liquidated the highs. So now we've really liquidated the highs of the overall range, as we can see. So this was your range high, liquidated the highs, and boom, reversal in towards the downside. So yeah, this could be the continuation that the daily needs for further downside. Obviously, I would prefer kind of like a push in towards this area of supply and then further downside, but that could be it for NZDUSD. So keep your eyes open for further shorts that could start happening. Or what we're just going to do is we're just going to grab liquidity below, for example, this low over here, and then react to the 25% mark and then just move back up again, because NZDUSD is still stuck in its range. Last for gold. So gold, what are we doing over here? I mean, building up a lot of liquidity below these lows over here. So wouldn't be surprised if we do see kind of like a strong impulse in towards the downside. Going to further analyze this chart today and drop it in Discord. But I mean, at the moment, we're just rejecting this overall extreme area of supply. So now what I want to see is the next impulse in towards the downside, see if we can realize that. That is, yeah, pretty much what I'm looking to see from gold. For the rest, nothing really interesting on gold, man. I mean, overall, we're just moving in towards the highs, moving in towards this extreme area of supply and creating a lot of kind of like equal lows, which the market is likely to take out very, very soon. So let's see. I'm looking to see what will happen next. And yeah, let's keep an eye. We'll drop a better gold chart today inside the Discord community. See you soon, and thank you for watching. Thanks, guys.